Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days. For today's video, day 10 is going to take us to around the 14th of November, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that. We extend GFS and ECM ensembles. They run around a couple of weeks. Have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. That'll get us well into the end of the November period. Actually, I think probably just about get to the beginning of December with that. So yeah, I should get on with it for you in a second. Just to say about the first video release is our 7 AM upload. We've also released the European Outlook, so please check out those two videos. Like, share, subscribe on all of the videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday. By the way, or not part one, but the first Christmas update was released last night. We premiered it. We had about 150 concurrent viewers. It's massive premiere. Thank you so much, everybody, for making it a lovely, lovely premiere. So, if you have not yet seen the first Christmas update, then check that out. You can find it on the YouTube homepage. And, yeah, have a look. It's interesting watch. Got the second update coming up for you on Saturday at 7 PM. Right, okay, let's turn webcam off, and we shall go through the data then. We'll start off with the what's going on in Tropical Atlantic. So we've got Tropical Storm Wanda just here in the northern part of the subtropical Atlantic. That's giving maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour with a minimum set pressure of 992 millibars. Clicking on Wanda, we can see that this tropical storm is going to sort of meander around the place over the next couple of days. And then eventually will start to move quite quickly over the weekend into early part of next week as a post-tropical storm, ending up to the west of Ireland by Tuesday. As again, it's not a tropical storm at that point, it's gone post-tropical. But yeah, it might be a vigorous area of low pressure. It could bring some wind and rain. I think that'd be particularly for more northern and western areas. Central temperature is looking like this. So CT currently sits at 8.2, which is around half a degree below average for the 61 to 1990 average provisional to the 3rd of November. Remember, that's a rolling average, so that's half a degree below average for the 3rd of November. If that was to stay at that level, 8.2, it'd actually be, quite a significantly milder than average month, because November, again, as all of the autumn months, is a cooling month, so you expect it to be colder by the end of the month than it is at the start of the month, if you see what I mean. But of course, this autumn we've been doing things a little bit differently. We have been cooling down through the autumn, but it's been a very, very, very slow cool down, and so far it's been a really warm autumn, actually, with September and October both very significantly above average, particularly so September, which came in at a very summery 15.9, was one of the warmest Septembers on record, of course. It's been a funny old year, but as the year's gone on, it has gradually got warmer, I think. So we can see that January starts off quite cold, February and March then go mild, around 1.5 degrees above average. Then we have that cold pair of months, April and May. So we have April, the coldest since 1986. We have May, the coldest since 1996. But since then, been generally solidly above average, except for August. So we have June at around 1.5 degrees above average, July at 1.5 degrees above average. August is like the outlier out of this run. That comes in close to or a little bit below average. Then we've got September over 2 degrees above average, and October again 1.5 degrees above average. So since May, I think things have turned for the warmer actually through this year. Of course, we've still got November and December to go. We may start reverting back to the colder weather that we had earlier on in the year, but it looks as though sort of June was an important moment, really, when we suddenly shifted again into being significantly and consistently warmer than normal. Of course, that might run out of road before we get to winter. Have to wait and see. But definitely the second half of 2000 and what year are we? We're 2021. Definitely second half of 2021 has been a lot warmer than the first half of 2021. GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles are looking like this. We're at Northampton today, local to me. So red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Northampton. We're starting off colder than average at the moment, but we're going to go milder than average by the time we get through to the end of weekend into the beginning of next week. So temperatures lifting up then. And it does look rather zonal then, doesn't it? So it looks like we're going into spell of zonality. So we've got warmer and cooler and warmer and cooler and warmer and potentially there cooler sectors alternating with one another. As ever with zonality on these ensemble graphs, the further out you go, you sort of lose that zonal sine wave, that up and down. But definitely sort of up to the middle of November anyway, we see quite a classic signal for zonality. There might be a cold trend appearing as we look towards the third week of November, but that is extended range. There is a lot of scatter in there. And overall, I think we just say that zonality is likely to keep things relatively mild, actually, once we get, to the weekend and beyond it. So we will probably see the temperature going above average again, for the CET by the time we get into next week, I would imagine. We'll see that anomaly once again, as so often over the past several months, shifting into milder than average conditions. Precipitation-wise, going to be a lot of dry weather as well. So although it's zonal, that doesn't necessarily mean it will be particularly wet. But this particular sort of version of zonality will actually bring a strong influence from the Azores high into the south of the country anyway. So that's going to keep a lot of dry weather going over the next few days. It does gradually get more unsettled as we move into the middle and second half of November. But of course, that is a long way off and is in the unreliable time frame of the GFS and its ensembles. Temperature anomalies from the 4th to 12th of November, going to be milder than average. How often we've said that over the past several months. So above average temperature coming up again for UK and Ireland in the week ahead. And the precipitation anomaly from the 4th to 12th of November, that is drier than average as well. This warm, dry autumn, despite a little cooler interlude at the moment, the warm, dry autumn of 2021 goes on. It is cold at the moment though, so latest wind from a map from earthnorthschool.net shows winds are currently in from the north. See, they're beginning to back round to the west, just to the northwest of Scotland though, so beginning to shift that wind direction back into the west, and over the next couple of days we're going to send that northerly off to the east, and then we'll turn the wind into west, and that will bring those milder temperatures back in for the weekend and beyond it. Right, so this is how the UK Met is looking for midnight on Sunday. Low pressure to North Scotland, quite a deep low. Actually, could bring gale force winds to northern half of the country over the weekend. A little bit of a battering. High pressure reaching into south-southwest should keep a lot of dry weather going though in the south and southwest. Then early next week, the Azores high re-establishes. That brings loads of dry weather with it to the south anyway. Wet and windy in the north. And, so looking quite unsettled as we get through to the middle part of next week. I think this is the remains of Wanda just here, actually. So not particularly intense, but might bring some wet weather, particularly to northern and western areas. Let's just push on to 168 hours. There it is. Looking pretty flat and westerly at that point. So we've still got a ridge just to our south from the ever-present Azores high. Low pressure is to the north and west, and that's going to bring another spell of wind and rain, probably to the north and west, but the south, close to that ridge of high pressure, should have quite a bit of dry weather into the second half of next week. Winds are from the southwest, so at least it will be mild. This is how, I'm so sorry, buddy. This is how the GFS midnight run is looking. So, again, much of a much. This could be some gale force winds across Scotland over the weekend. That will get out of the way, but we'll build a ridge in from the Azores high early next week. That will be a relatively cool ridge initially, but then we will start to bring up milder air from the southwest into that area of high pressure. That's how we'll get to the end of next week, 12th of November. Can't rain in the far northwest. High pressure is sitting over the UK and much of Western Europe. That's bringing very mild weather with it. Of course, there might be fog and mist under that area of high pressure. It's difficult to ascertain how far out we are from that, whether that could start to bring some mist and fog to England and Wales. But should keep things mainly dry anyway. Moving up to pretty mild, and moving up towards day 10, that's how we look. So still the ridge goes on. It's trying to build northwards, but I think that's going to be quite unsuccessful, because just after day 10, low pressure really starts to invigorate in the Atlantic, and all of a sudden, around middle part of the month, we begin to turn very wet and windy with deep low pressure, 975 millibars, moving in from off the Atlantic. Gale force southerly winds. It will be very mild if that comes off, but does bring a lot of heavy rain with it. High pressure trying to build over Scandinavia, you'll notice there, on the 17th of November. That is unsuccessful, though. Just we keep low pressure rolling in. So beyond day 10, there's definitely a shift to really unsettled weather, with deep areas of low pressure bringing heavy rain sweeping in from off the Atlantic Ocean. But of course, that's beyond 10 days away. That's a long way out. And before that, there is actually quite a lot of high pressure influences from the south and the southeast. GFS V2, again, looking a little bit stormy Saturday into Sunday in the northern half of the country, but high pressure is more or less in control of weather down in the south anyway. That will keep things largely dry. It will be pretty mild as well. So there is Wanda, I think, just there. That's Wednesday. So on Wednesday, that low pressure there, I think, contains the remains of what is currently Tropical Storm Wanda, by then post-Tropical Storm Wanda. So the upshot of Wanda is just to push up towards Iceland and keep this high pressure sitting over England and Wales, so that keeps things mainly dry second half next week. There might be fog with that, but it is a mild ridge. We're drawing up wind around that from the west and from the southwest. Once again, moving up to day 10, the high pressure is trying to move up towards Scandinavia, but low pressure is pushing in from off the Atlantic, winds in from the south, so obviously it remains mild or very mild then. And then we head on into the extended range, and we just turn a little bit unsettled, but nothing, particularly interesting going on at the 20th of November. Still that area of high pressure from the Azores ridges into southwest, and the winds remain fundamentally from a mild westerly direction. The GM next. If you enjoyed the video, please smash your like button, make sure you sub to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. We're up on around 50 subscribers now, that's all, to get ourselves to 12.5k. So please give us a sub, tell friends about to subscribe as well. Thank you so much. Right, this is LB GM. It's looking for Sunday. Getting a little bit stormy for the north, a lot of dry weather in the south into next week. So that's Wanda there to west of the island by the end of next week. That looks like a vigorous area of low pressure moving in at the end of next week and into weekend of 13th, 14th of November. But remember, GFS is nowhere near as deep with that area of low pressure. It all looks generally pretty mild, though, through next week with the GM. And then the ECM at WF looking like that. So high pressure, again, switching into the southwest on Sunday. Low pressure still brings some wind and rain to the north early next week. High pressure to our south and east, so it's mainly dry and pretty mild. Northern and western areas, though, could be a little bit on the unsettled side. And then we go up towards second half of next week, and we look like that. Flat as a pancake, really. High pressure to the south, low pressure to the north, and in come those mild west or southwesterly winds. Nothing particularly very interesting up to day 10, which gets to the 14th of November. And we're still in a mild west-southwesterly there. Right, okay, let's have a look at the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from TomEcho.com. Plenty of showers around in the north and east at the moment, otherwise dry weather. What wet weather there is over weekends next week is primarily in the north, not much doing in the south. And you see the south just keeps the south keeps protected with its area of high pressure through much of next week. There will be a little bit of rain coming and going. But to be honest, a lot of dry weather in the south, wet weather in the north, looking really mild across most parts of the country. These are the options on the table in the ECM ensembles today for day 10 from the ECMDF.int website. Some reason Icelandic Met Office is not updating these clusters at the moment. But we've got the ECM to work with, ECM.int website to work with. So we have 17 members of the ECM ensembles at day 10, which of course is going to get us to 14th of November, having high pressure right over top of the country, mainly dry and mild. With that, we have another 15 that have high pressure right in over top of the country as well, by the way. We have 11 just here, we have high pressure slightly to our north-northwest, low pressure south. That might be a little bit colder. That could be bringing in wind from more of a northeasterly direction, but it's still basically anticyclonic. And then we've got 8 just here, because I don't know which one of these would contain the operational run. It doesn't tell you, I don't think, with these, unfortunately. They ought to highlight which is the operational run in the clusters. But anyway, we've got 8 that have high pressure again, sort of ridging through the country. They all look pretty anticyclonic in 10 days' time. It's just the position of the ridge that's going to be critical. In 2 weeks' time, and this will get us to the 19th of November. The options look like this. Have high pressure over and slightly to the west of the country, so going to be mainly dry with winds in from a mild westerly direction. We have 15, I think that is. It's a bit blurred, isn't it? We have 15 that have high pressure sort of over the top of the country. So again, that's going to be bringing lots of dry weather with it. Now, the 9 here are a little bit more interesting. High pressure then pulls out to our west. Low pressure sort of digs down through northern and western Europe. And that will pull the wind into the north. So that would be cold with northerly winds. We have another 9 just here that bring in low pressure from off the Atlantic. That's turning mild, wet, windy. And then we have loads of options. We have 6, I think that is, probably 6 that have, again, high pressure just to our west, low pressure to our east. That's a little bit colder and more northerly. And then finally, now this one is very interesting, but it's only 4 doing this. We have a proper mid-Atlantic ridge going back to Greenland blocking with a deep trough of low pressure across much of Europe, and that's going to be bringing in like a long fetch northeasterly. And if it came off, that would be winter really biting across much of northern and western Europe. But keep in mind, there's only 4 doing that, so it's extremely sort of minority scenario. Most of the options look pretty mild, I have to say. It's just whether high pressure or low pressure is in control of things, really. CFS V2 finally means a 500 millibar heights broken down to week periods. The first week period will take us from the 4th to the 10th of November the coming week. We'll have high pressure in control, sitting just to our west and bringing in an increasingly mild westerly flow from off the Atlantic Ocean. Week 2, the 11th to the 17th of November, still mild, high pressure slip southwards, low pressure out to the northwest, winds going flat and westerly. So more unsettled, but still on the mild side. Getting through to week 3, which is the 18th to 24th of November. Low pressure is away to our northwest, winds coming in from a west or southwesterly direction. Again, a lot of mild weather with that, wettest in the northwest, of course. And then week 4 is the 25th November to the 1st of December, first day of mid-tropical winds. We're still looking very mild. Low pressure is to the north, high pressure is to our east and south. We're still drawing up those west-southwesterly winds, so no changes to the beginning of December. Very mild November on the way, if that's right, despite the cold opening days to the month. Right, if you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button, make sure you sub to the channel. Thanks so much everybody for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think, and don't forget to tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. We only need to pull around 50 subscribers now to get to 12.5k. So please give us a sub, and thank you so much for doing that. Right, so that's it for today's videos. Now I'm going to tell you what's coming up tomorrow. We're going to start off with the 7 AM forecast. We've got the EC 42-day forecast. UK and Ireland coming tomorrow as well as January, Friday, a 10 to 14 day. And if all of that wasn't enough, we'll be live streaming at 10 PM. We're back in GMT, so we'll be able to start bringing in for GFS 18Z as it updates on a Friday night. Yes, pub run lives are back for another season. And we'll have the first one of those coming up for you tomorrow after 10 PM. But for today's videos, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.